So I just want you guys to know that on the YouTube video, it always cuts off so early, and I never understand why. And I lose game 3s in top cut matches all the freaking time. And you have Masters top 8 here, and it ends in the middle of game 1. And I'm glad I checked that before I started recording, because I would be pissed. And now I have to go on Twitch to see if the VOD is still there so I can actually watch the whole thing. And now on Twitch they have TCG Day 2, which is 14 hours, and then they have TCG Day 2 rebroadcast, which is 9 hours. Did they just repost the YouTube video to Twitch? Is that what they did? What the heck? You know, it honestly makes me wonder if I should record this with the Twitch chat in future tournaments like this. But we all know that the Twitch chat for it is super toxic. What is up, guys? Ninja Nick back with another round of the Pokemon Trading Card Game World Championships. We have our top 8 match here, Tord Reklev versus Victor Manuel Garcia Montez. And it looks like a Gardevoir mirror. To no one's surprise, they decided to put Tord on the stream because Tord is TPCI's baby. They love him so much. And yeah, so we're going to get right into it. Looks like Tord is going to be the start here. Going first is definitely what you want to see in any sort of mirror match. But especially Gardevoir here. Or in most, I guess most mirror matches, because you can go second in Mew if you're playing Fusion Strike, and you kind of prefer going second in Lost Box mirrors, so you can cram turn 1. But we start off with the ever-present Battle VIP Pass glued to these players' hands. Is going to be able to search the deck for any 2 basic Pokemon that, but yeah, just any 2 basic Pokemon. I almost said that don't have a roll box, but that's Artisan. And Gloria. So Tord, thoroughly checking his prize cards, will not be getting any sort of slow play penalties here like his opponent did in an earlier round, because Tord can take as much time as he wants, and the judges will give him a big ol' hug and a kiss for it. You know, one of the things that I really need to start doing more at, like, regionals and stuff is just saying the word action. Like, action? Like, when my opponent is, like, not doing anything. It's like, action? It's like, can you actually make a play? And, of course, this top cut match is 75 minutes. As if I didn't record enough today already. I'm actually enjoying it. It's just 1 a.m. But I kind of want to get these done as soon as possible so I can finish packing, get all the last minute stuff done for my move. I gotta take all the stuff off my walls still, all my pictures and whatnot. Ooh, Victor going for the turn 1 worker as the supporter is never what you want to see here. Tord's not even playing worker in his list at all. Just kind of raw dogging it with 2 stadiums and a lost vacuum. Worker always feels really great to play in Gardevoir, because at worst it is a draw 3. And you can always Palpat it back into the deck against decks that do play multiple Path to Peak like Arceus. I do think that Tord's specific list is pretty weak to Arceus, in all honesty. I really like playing Sky Seal Stone for the, specifically for the matchup against the Umbreon VMAX, so you can take 4 prizes against it, because it can usually bring up your Gardevoir EX and hit it for weakness, so you really need a way to try to clean that game up. And I also usually like the double Zacian for that as well, but you could get away with just 1 Zacian, and a heavy ball would be perfectly fine. Especially if you have your 2 Super Rods and use them at the right times. We are going to Ultra Ball away a Zacian V. Yeah, Victor got a pretty decent start. He was able to get the 3 Ralts down onto the bench, but unfortunately, Tord just getting Rare Candy Gardevoir and Mirage Step. Oh my god, we're going to get a full field of Gardevoir line Pokemon. We're going to have 1 Ralts, 1 Gardevoir, and 4 Kirlia in play, as long as we did not prize any. This is a huge play from Tord. This is something that I actually did the very first play testing I did with Gardevoir. The very first game I ever played, I did this exact turn too. Absolutely crazy to see it happen in top 8 of the Masters Division World Championships. And what do you do? What do you do to that start? It's just... I don't even know if I would... Like, that would be super demoralizing to me, at the very least, if I was facing that. That's crazy. It's actually crazy. Just draws a Ralts for turn. Not too bad to have, but... you could bench it this turn, but you're really looking for your Kirlias this turn. And Tord will be able to take the first prize by... Yeah, I think that this is... I think the Mirage Step is actually really great for the mirror match. Because your opponent is more than likely not going to be able to get the first attack against a Mirage Step. I mean, I guess if they, like, start Zacian, attach and Roar the Sword to it, they could. But then you can just pivot to the game plan of playing like Victor is right now, where he just puts a whole bunch of Ralts into play and then evolves them all into Kirlias. So we do see an Iono here coming from Victor. We'll be able to shuffle those hands, put them on the bottom, and draw fresh cards here. Victor does get a rare candy. We might be able to see that make one of those Ralts into a Gardevoir EX and actually take the first prize, which is something that is super important here in this mirror match, taking that first prize card. It won't matter if Tord is able to Mirage Step as long as Victor is able to maintain a prize lead. But the problem with this is Tord can always rare candy the Ralts on the bench and then leave all 3 Kirlias in play just as draw. And that will be really scary to have to deal with. Looks like we are using maybe the... Oh no, that is our hand. Okay. We have level, but we have the Gardevoir EX, so we can actually go for the rare candy Gardevoir EX play. We just need an attacker. And we do find Fog Crystal. We can go for the Zacian this turn. But is that the right attacker you want to be going for? No, I think no. It's better to go for the Cresselia here. You can knock out one of those benched Refinement Kirlia and take the lead in that way. Looks like the Fog Crystal is going to get a Psychic Energy, though. Does he not have the energy that he needs in the discard pile just yet? He could attach and retreat into a Cresselia if he has it. Now he's going to use the Mysterious Tail, okay. And that will find Ultra Ball. He's just going to take that. He knows that's exactly what he wants. Not even going to bother looking through the other cards. Although there could have been another Fog Crystal, you could have gone for that instead. So here, I think that if you have the Manaphy in deck, you actually level ball for the Manaphy. To thin that card out, because you don't need that in this matchup. Is it in the deck? No. Okay, so it's perfectly fine doing that. Yeah, perfectly fine getting rid of the level ball. Victor should very much know his Pokemon in the prize cards at this point. And we are going to see the Rare Candy Gardevoir and the Moonglow Reverse this turn. Absolutely fantastic here from Victor. We'll be able to take that prize lead as well as knock out a Refinement Kirlia from the bench. So we're going to attach with Psychic Embrace from the discard pile to retreat. And then load up some more energies onto our Pokemon here as well. And are we short 1 energy? No, okay. I got scared for a second. No, we have the energy. And we are able to have... We have exactly the 6 energy that we needed in order to take the knockout on a Refinement Kirlia on the bench. And now that Mirage Step is still stuck in the active, it can evolve, but that is one less Kirlia that will be allowing you to draw cards. Tord is only going to be able to draw a measly 6 additional cards without a supporter this turn, off of the 2 Kirlias and 1 Gardevoir. Looks like we are going to level ball here. Probably going to thin the deck of those Pokemon we don't need, like the Manaphy, like the Mew as well, if that's in there. Looks like there is no Mew, though. Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, because we have double level ball, so we could go double level ball for Mew and Manaphy. And then just discard those with refinements. Only 10 minutes into the game so far, still plenty of time. And as long as, again, as long as Victor can maintain this prize lead, it should be fine. But Tord definitely has the best spread of Pokemon in play for sure. Tord can even go for a Moonglow reverse of his own. Is going to be able to attach a reversal energy to his Gardevoir. Doesn't even need to damage it in order to take a knockout this turn. And we're going to go for the research, getting rid of that Manaphy and Mew without even having to use our refinement yet. So we are at, we drew 1 card per turn, plus 7 from the research is 8. And now we can draw with 2 refinement Kirlias and 1 Shining Arcana, which is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We've seen 14 cards deep in 1 turn, potentially. And that is the sheer power of Gardevoir. We even find a rare candy, so we can rare candy this Ralts into the Gardevoir EX. And I know there is one more Ralts in the deck. He could always bench that as well if he doesn't want to go for his own Moonglow reverse this turn. He does have the Cresselia in hand, so I would definitely like to see that. Getting rid of one of the Kirlia on his opponent's bench would feel like the correct play. And we do see the Shining Arcana gets double Psychic Energy, attaching just one of them to the Gardevoir. This is absolutely insane. There is so much energy on that Gardevoir already. Victor's best play on the next turn might be to just boss up that Gardevoir and knock it out with maybe the Miracle Force on the Gardevoir EX. That doesn't really feel very good, though. But that Gardevoir is threatening quite a bit right now. And yeah, we could actually see this Kirlia evolve into a Gardevoir as well in the active spot, and then the Rare Candy Gardevoir EX on the bench. Yeah, Tord is super, super in the lead right now, even though he is technically in a prize deficit. Being able to Ultra Ball 2 more energies in the discard pile, he's just getting everything in there. And this is why Mirage Step is so powerful, and I haven't understood why so many people were just overlooking it for so long. Like, you definitely know Pokemon R&D made this deck the way it is on purpose, having that Kirlia be released in, like, Chilling Rain or whatever it is, to be able to get out those refinement Kirlias very easily. So here will come the Rare Candy into the Gardevoir, the regular Gardevoir? Okay, yep, makes sense. Then we will use the Shining Arcana to draw 2 cards. That will be Palpad and the Radiant Greninja. Now we can evolve our active into the EX, use its ability to just put 1 energy on itself to be able to retreat into the Cresselia, and then use the Cresselia to heal that 20 off, as well as 20 off of any of the other Pokemon that you put damage counters on. And I think at this point, Tord's basically said that he has Gardevoir EX in hand by having that active Pokemon not evolve quite yet, saving it for the Gardevoir EX. You see Victor shake his head. You can tell by the shadowing right now on the table. So 20 onto the Gardevoir EX. We will retreat into the Cresselia, and we will Psychic Embrace to the active, and probably maybe the 2 Gardevoirs on the bench. The other 2 Gardevoirs. The one with the reversal energy, and then the other one, maybe? You do need 20 more damage somewhere. So, yeah, might as well just put it on the other Gardevoir. It is your attacker. Fully heal it. Make it as hard as possible for your opponent to knock it out. They won't be able to Moonglow reverse that stuff. Just your Curlias. And yeah, now Tord has... Tord was able to draw an additional 2 cards. So what did I say? 14 before? That is 16 cards he's drawn in one turn. 1 for turn, 7 for research, 2 for the first refinement, 2 for the second refinement, 2 for the first Shining Arcana, and 2 for the second Shining Arcana. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely asinine, even. And knocking out one of the Curlias. He's checking to see which Ralts he wants in the discard pile. And that is actually correct. If one of those had the... I think if one of those had the 60 HP Ralts under it, I would choose not to knock it out. Especially if I was playing something like Arceus. If I had a choice between the two, like bossing it up and knocking it out. I would boss up the one with the 60 HP one under it if I had Lost City in play, and if I didn't, I would boss up the other one. Very important to make sure that you make the most relevant choices possible, because the Ralts that you put in the discard pile can matter. You could always see the Ralts just come up and do like if you have the 60 HP one, you could always see that just turn off Moonglow reverse for a turn. But I think if you were to do that, you just do the Cresselia's second attack and feel fine. Or you could just retreat the Cresselia into the Gardevoir and just take a knockout. Probably with the one that doesn't, probably with the one that has no reversal energy on it would feel better. So we are going to bench another Ralts here. Hopefully we will be able to rare candy into a Gardevoir EX on the next turn. Or just the Shining Arcana actually would probably be better. Or we could evolve it into a Curly on the next turn. We have the Curly in hand, but that will allow Tord to Moonglow reverse yet again. So Collapse Stadium, that will get rid of one of Tord's Pokemon. Who does he choose? Honestly, I wouldn't feel too opposed to getting rid of the Gardevoir EX here, depending on what my hand is for Tord. Making sure that we still have an additional refinement for the next turn, but I don't know if you really need all of the refinements. That will get rid of one Curlia. Putting in quite a bit of work here. Victor will discard his own Mew, putting that in the discard pile so that that can't get Moonglow reversed on the next turn. And we will see the retreat into the Gardevoir. Putting 2 Psychic Energies on it will deal itself 40 damage, but we will also be able to knock out this Cresselia and maintain our prize lead. And no, we're going to go for the boss's orders on the Gardevoir that has the reversal energy on it. We have not played a supporter yet for turn, so we will be able to bring that up. And yeah, just knock that out, the one that has all of that crazy energy on it, including that reversal energy. You're going to maintain your prize lead while knocking out the reversal energy from play. That is the best play that Victor could have hoped for. Now, Tord could go for another Moonglow reverse this turn. There is an additional 2 energies in the discard pile now. He could have promoted the if he wants to Moonglow reverse this turn, it would have been more correct to promote the Gardevoir, attach 1 energy with your Psychic Embrace, and then retreat it back into the Cresselia. So yeah, Tord surprisingly in not that great of a spot. But the problem is, will Victor be able to still continue chaining attackers? He could always Moonglow reverse again on the next turn if he can bench another Psychic Pokemon. And then knock out that other Curlia on the bench. And yeah, it looks like Tord is going to go for the INO, limiting Victor's hand as much as possible. Tord still has quite a bit of draw available on his board, but Victor will not have any because this Gardevoir is his only draw card in play. So that is the way that Tord intends to win, is to just keep throwing the haymakers back and forth, and then hopefully an Iono sticks because you were able to keep some draw 2 Pokemon in play and your opponent was not. Showing exactly why Tord built his deck the way he did, because he wants to be able to optimize the mirror match by having access to that Mirage Step Kirlia. Making sure he always has the most amount of those draw 2 Pokemon in play as possible. Because we see Victor do it the old school way, or the more North American way, I'll call it as well. Even though he's from Singapore, maybe? It says SG. Curly is gonna refinement yet again. Tord has a lot of marks on his sleeves, I'm noticing here. There's like a lot of like grease marks. Like I can see them from here. So I would consider those cards actually marked. Maybe Tord's just been sweating a lot all over his sleeves. Like if he rubs sweat off his face and then touches his cards, that would do that. But yeah, I would be very concerned that I would be getting a potential. Like I think maybe like if you're somebody like Tord and you're gonna be on screen, like on stream quite a lot, I think that I would keep like a little hand towel on me just to wipe the sweat off, because they are under quite a bit of lighting. And it looks like Tord decided to go for the second attack of the Cresselia. This is the second time I've actually seen this during these streamed games. Very uncommon to see that attack go off, but we are able to take the knockout on the active with that because of the damage that was self-inflicted. Being able to do 110, there was only 100 left on the Gardevoir. Being able to take the knockout with something like the Cresselia is really good, because that helps you conserve your Gardevoirs. Victor gonna really want to find a way to, or he's gonna really want to set up this Cresselia to be able to snipe that Kirlia off the bench, continue his prize lead. Is getting another Ralts onto the bench here, the 60 HP one. Both players still forced to play under the collapsed stadium. That stadium has not been replaced just yet. I don't think it really matters. I think they have everything they want in play, or everything they could at least get in play here as of now. Why does my cheek look so red? Is it just the camera and the lighting? It's probably because of all the red around here. Yeah, my face looks kind of red. Oh, that is part of the green screen settings too, I think. Like made myself look a little bit more red so that the background would stand out a little bit more. So Tord just gonna, or no, Victor just gonna go ahead and use the Moonglow reverse yet again. Definitely has more psychic energies in the discard pile to be able to use here, and we are going to be able to move 8 to the Kirlia and knock it out. After Ionoing Tord, but Tord still has one more Pokemon in play that allows him to draw 2 cards, and if we find another rare candy, we will be able to rare candy this Ralts that was in play last turn into that other Shining Arcana Gardevoir we have in hand. We were able to Super Rod back into the deck, so we will have to see if we are able to get there or not, but it looks like Tord is going to go the slower path and evolve into the Kirlia. It will allow Victor to potentially use Moonglow Reverse yet again and make it so Tord is not able to keep that Kirlia in play to evolve into a Gardevoir on the subsequent turn, but I think that's still fine. You're just really hoping that an Iono sticks at some point. So I think here you go for the Moonglow Reverse on the Kirlia on the bench yet again, and just try to limit your opponent from ever having that draw option. Again, this is a 75-minute best of 3, so you still have plenty of time to play this game out. Kirlia is going to discard the Lost Vacuum in order to draw 2 more cards. We do get our own Collapse Stadium. It looks like both players playing the secret rare Collapse Stadium. Has plenty of psychic energies, it looks like, still in the discard pile, even though a lot of those are locked to your active. And yeah, I think he has the ability to Moonglow Reverse this turn. I think you do go for it. And there you go. We will put 20 damage on each of these Pokemon, and we will be able to move the total 80 damage to the opponent's benched Kirlia to knock it out. Now Victor will have to yet again find a rare candy Gardevoir or another Kirlia. And toward just keeping those draw 2 Pokemon out of play for Victor. Eventually hoping that one of these Ionos sticks really well for him. And then maybe we can get a Zacian cleanup on the last 2 prize cards, bringing up the Gardevoir EX to knock it out. Looks like we do draw a Temple of Sinnoh for turn. But I think that honestly helps Tord more than it helps yourself, because it'll give Tord 2 more bench spaces. We do evolve into the Kirlia yet again. And now Tord, I think you're trying to force Tord to spread his energy too wide on his whole board so that a Zacian can't come out later in the game. And again, keep maintaining that prize lead. If you can now Moonglow Reverse yet again, definitely do it. Knock out that Kirlia on the bench. We are going to go for, it looks like, I think that was double Ralts and Gardevoir, with the Super Rod going back into the deck. He's going to use his Refinement, discarding Penny. Definitely don't need that right now. We do have a rare candy, but a little too late there. Gonna play the Temple of Sinnoh, getting rid of his own Collapse Stadium. Not sure why players like put their stadium cards sideways. They're supposed to be vertical. We should have learned that lesson from Parallel City back in the day. We are going to research getting rid of double rare candy, and is that a reversal energy? I guess you are planning to stay ahead the entire game, so you don't need reversal energy, but you could have still just attached that for turn to a Kirlia, to the Kirlia. You are probably expecting it to go down the next turn, but I don't see any reason why not to just attach it. You could even just attach to the Zacian just so you have like another energy to potentially retreat with, or you could have attached it, better yet, to the Radiant Greninja, so you have a potential pivot in that as well. We're gonna re-bench that nice full art Ralts. I really love that Ralts there. Unfortunately, it is the least optimal Ralts, and I don't know why anybody plays it. I guess there is a very niche situation where you could knock out a Zacian with it, but I don't think that there's any actual reason to play that Ralts. The teleportation burst comes up much more often than the attack of that Ralts there. So are we going to go for an attack with the Gardevoir this turn? I don't know if I like that. I definitely think we should just be retreating this Gardevoir back into the Kirlia, or no, into the Cresselia, and doing the Moonglow Reverse yet again, knocking out that Kirlia on the bench. But it looks like he values removing the Cresselia from play, but now this opens up a play where Tord... Oh! I know why Victor's doing this, because he's trying to bait Tord into attacking with the Zacian V. Because if Tord attacks with the Zacian V, he goes into the prize lead. But then Victor has a very easy way to just knock out the Zacian. He has his own Kirlia in play. He could always just evolve that into another Gardevoir EX, which he hopefully already has in hand. But I don't think Tord's dumb enough to fall for that trick. I think since he is losing, he could potentially find another reversal energy. He does play 2. Even Shining Arcana is 1 energy onto the active, so 6. I mean, so we're at 150 right now. So that's 190 with the 40 that's already on it as damage. So you still need to do another 120? That's only 4 energy, right? Am I doing the math right? 190 plus 100 is 290 plus 20. Yeah, you only need to do another 120, so you can actually take the knockout with your Gardevoir here. And now Victor is in the prize, behind on prize cards, so I definitely think Victor threw here. He should have definitely gone for the Cresselia yet again, knocking out that Kirlia on the bench. And just forcing maybe Tord to have the boss's orders play to go for that. Of course, Tord has so many cards in hand that it's more than likely he would be able to go for it. Oh yeah, he has the boss's orders in hand, so I guess it ends up not mattering. Oh, but actually... yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm trying to think of like how much Tord would have to self-damage his own Gardevoir here. If the Gardevoir EX didn't self-damage itself 40. But we are going to Super Rod in Energy, as well as the Cresselia, and was that a Ralts maybe into deck? Yeah, so I think Victor really needed an Iono on this last turn, and Tord's strategy of just making sure that he has more draw cards than his opponent in play definitely worked out for him, because I have not seen Victor be able to pal pad in Ionos this game. He's certainly played out quite a few of them. And now Tord just has this huge, massive hand, still with 2 draw 2 Pokemon in play, even still. So Victor just losing this very long, drawn-out game just because of the fact that Tord was able to Mirage Step 3 Kirlias into play after rotating into a Gardevoir with the Shining Arcana. Just losing just because Tord was able to draw better. But Tord set it up that way. Tord looks like he has 4 cards maybe left in deck. Maybe there's still 3 after that Shining Arcana. It's really hard to tell. Lots of fingerprints on those sleeves, though. We're going to bench the Greninja, and that is a little bit scary, because if you were to have drawn into that Psychic Energy you Super Rotted back into the deck... Ooh, is Tord thinking about using his boss's orders? Oh, he's going to boss up the Greninja, and then he's going to Moonglow reverse. A very interesting play from Tord here, because now that forces Victor to be able to attach for turn to the active in order to retreat it to be even able to attack yet again. And we are going to see the Palpad putting in just the boss's orders into this extremely small deck. We will guarantee to be able to see it again on the next turn, to be able to take the final knockout that we need with that Shining Arcana Gardevoir. And yeah, I think this is definitely a checkmate position here against Victor. There is at least 4, yeah, it looks like 4 energy in the discard pile here. We can retreat another 2 off of this active. So definitely going to be able to have enough to knock that Zacian out of play. Victor, already having used his Collapse Stadium, will not be able to knock the Zacian back into the discard pile again. And even still, Tord could always put his own Zacian potentially into play. And he's using as much of his ability, or no, he's just using the Moonglow reverse, right? And yeah, the stream is making him place the damage counters. What is this, Japanese stream? Come on now. Yeah, Tord looks like he has maybe 3 cards left in deck, one of which is the Boss's Orders. And Tord still just checking the discard piles, trying to burn as much time as possible, as Tord does. He's going to knock out the Ralts instead of the Kirlia? I would have knocked out the Kirlia. Your opponent does not have that many cards left in deck. And if they did have a Psychic Energy left, we definitely would see that Kirlia allow you to draw. Oh, here we go. So we did have 2 energies left, or multiple energies left. We have some in hand here. But Tord, is Victor going to be able to boss his orders and knock out the Gardevoir EX here? Yeah, it looks like he doesn't have a boss in deck or hand. So I don't... Yeah, he's not going to be able to win this game. He needed to boss this turn and knock out the Gardevoir EX. And now Tord is going to be able to have his boss's orders off the top couple cards of the deck. He's guaranteed to he's basically guaranteed to draw into it. He's got 4 cards left in deck. He's going to be Iono to 2, draw a card for turn, and then he has 2 Shining Arcana Gardevoirs in play that allow him to draw an additional 4. So he's definitely got the... And there's the boss's orders right there. Now the thing is, does Tord have enough energies in the discard pile to be able to knock out that Zacian? I would think he would have to. There's 2 in the discard pile, 1 coming off the knockout of this active Pokemon. That's 3. You can put one of these Pokemon up just to retreat 2 energy off of it. That's 5 that you could put into play. And we will be able to boss up the Zacian, retreat, Psychic Embrace, and Brainwave for the knockout. Yeah, beautifully played by Tord. I think Victor did fumble a little bit. He definitely did not have the boss's orders he needed to clean out that game. So I don't know if maybe he like prized Palpad or just discarded too many resources too early that really were entirely required to win that game. But that was definitely Victor's game to win. But Tord did, I mean, his deck is built for the mirror match, being able to get all of those Kirlias out. And of course, both players are going to pile stack their decks to waste time. So we are going to skip ahead so that we do not have to see that. Come on. Pause. Oh, this isn't YouTube. God dang it. All right. All right, I guess I can't really skip ahead too well. Okay, there we go. Yeah, YouTube's a little bit easier to skip ahead, because you can just right arrow and it'll skip ahead 5 seconds. But now I'm on Twitch because it cut halfway through game 1, as you guys saw at the beginning of this video. So, and then of course there's no top 4 match either, because that was supposed to be after that. So it's a good thing I do these videos just for like preservation, because those videos don't always stay on Twitch for long enough. And the YouTube video didn't have the full thing. So it looks like only 1 Ralts into play for Victor on this first turn after using the concealed cards. And an Ultra Ball. Getting 3 energies in the discard pile is great, but only 1 Ralts. If you don't have your own Mirage Step Kirlia, you really are going to get destroyed by Tord this game. Tord still playing very methodically. They had like a 40-minute game 1. And, of course, the top cut rules is giving Victor a little bit of a better chance to try to beat Tord, but we know how much Pokemon tournaments are in the favor of Tord winning. They love to see him collect those trophies. So Tord going to take his time looking through those prize cards, making sure he knows exactly every single one of those 6 that he has in there. Gonna Luminion for an Iono. That might help his opponent out, honestly. But, of course, it could also put him into a hand of all Battle VIP passes that he can't use. So Victor, already hand shuffling, knows exactly what is coming up. Although having the Luminion there is a bit of a liability for Tord. He's definitely going to have to find his Collapse Stadium at some point in the near future. Especially with that Manaphy as the start as well. This is not anywhere near as good of a start as previous. And here is the Iono. That is going to put that Kirlia and Gardevoir back into the deck. And hopefully we will draw a hand of Battle VIP passes. And we can use the Forest Sealstone as well to maybe find another one. So I think Tord this game is going to go for the full Ralts board instead of the Mirage Step board, like he did previously. Thinking about putting this Greninja into play, we have a Battle VIP pass and a Ralts. We don't even need to use the Forest Sealstone just yet. Unless we wanted to Forest Sealstone for the Collapse Stadium just to discard the Luminion would not be a bad decision. Although, I think you can leave this for 1 to 2 turns, potentially, and not get punished. Tord's still looking through his deck. Come on, Tord. They don't give this man slow play penalties like they do to his opponents. What is this about? He already had his first deck search. His second deck search should not take this long. I realize they have a 75-minute time to play this match, but you still should be playing at the same pace. It's just to make it so you don't have like a game 2 that goes into time or a game 3 that goes into time. You want to try to get the full 3 matches in. That's why they do 75-minute best of 3 for these top cuts at regionals and higher. Draws into another Kirlia here off of this, and we will see. Oh, he's going for the Mew? Why did he get the Mew out? Is he really just going to go for only 2 Ralts in play? That's so odd to me. That is a very odd play. I think that this is definitely, I don't know. Victor's start was pretty bad as well. Yeah, so Tord can only Collapse Stadium 1 Pokemon off of the bench. Yeah, I think Tord could have left like Radiant Greninja or the Manaphy. He could have left the Manaphy active and just gotten 3 Ralts on his bench, and that would have felt fine to me. Victor still does not look like he has a good hand to play with here. Looks like he's going to have to potentially research away a rare candy. That's not what you want to see. You want to be able to rare candy into the Gardevoir EX like you did in the last game turn 2. But I don't see any Ultra Balls in his hand currently. So it looks like we are going to level ball for another Ralts. Trying to get as many Ralts into play as possible, but you still need your Kirlias, your Gardevoir EXs. I think maybe leaving the option to still evolve this Ralts into Gardevoir if he can research into yet another rare candy. And the Gardevoir EX. Gonna discard the Zacian V as well here. Along with a couple of energies, a Manaphy. Yeah, definitely a fine discard there. The only thing that's a bit concerning is that rare candy. We have not used our Mew yet, though. So as long as we found Gardevoir or Ultra Ball or... My brain keeps shutting off. Or the rare candy, we can hopefully find the other of the rare candy or Ultra Ball off the Mew. And here is the rare candy. And there it is, Rare Candy, Gardevoir EX, and the Cresselia being put into play. Victor is going to go on the prize lead yet again. And I think in this game, since Tord was not able to Mirage Step, this is going to be a lot more into Victor's favor. He can snipe one of those Ralts directly off of the bench, leaving all of these Pokemon in play that Tord does not want to have in play. And Tord's going to have to respond with his own Rare Candy Gardevoir EX, but then even still, he will not be able to draw any cards. He's not going to have access to any of those refinements. There is a refinement Kirlia in the prize cards for Victor, so that might end up coming back to bite him a little bit. Not being able to potentially find enough Kirlias will be a little bit less consistent there, but of course Tord could always scoop this one early if he thinks he can't win this one and have plenty of time for the next game, but you know that's not Tord's MO. He wants to play each game out as long as possible. And then if he's in game 3 and knows that he's going to win, he is going to turbo Tord it out. Because we know that, yeah, because Tord, if he loses this game, he will be able to go first in the next game and be very favored. He'll be the first to play, the first to evolve. And he can always, you know, activate Turbo Tord to be able to play fast if he needs to. So he wants to play this game out as far as possible. Plus, he knows that if he goes into game 3, it's whoever's up on prize cards in game 3 is going to win the game if it goes down to time. So I think he's going to play this game out as long as possible, knowing, even if he knows he cannot win, just because he knows that since he gets the first turn, he's probably getting the first knockout, and he can stay ahead in the prize trade even in time. And I don't know how this man does not get tired going into time in every single round. Because I played Gardevoir at a League Cup, got top 8 there, and I went to time every single round except for my top 8 match. Like, all of my games ended in game 2 or 3 in time, whether I won them or not. Whether I won them, lost them, or tied them, they all ended in game 2 or 3 in time. Tord has a couple of Battle VIP pass, which is a very easy decision to discard with that Ultra Ball. We're going to see that grab a Gardevoir EX that should show you that he has the rare candy in hand in order to evolve and keep up this prize trade. If Tord was to miss that rare candy this turn, Victor would have been able to go on a 2 prize lead potentially. And that would very much seal the deal there. So now we can see Tord actually, he'll have to attack with this Gardevoir EX. If he wants to take a prize card here. And that will open it up for Victor to potentially be able to respond with his own Zacian V or Shining Arcana Gardevoir of his own to take the knockout on Tord's Gardevoir EX. Kind of like what happened in the previous game, but in the opposite direction. So we're going to attach and retreat to the Mew, and then put 6 damage counters on the active Gardevoir with its Psychic Embrace to take the knockout on the Cresselia. So if you're Victor, what do you do now? I think maybe just try to get another Cresselia going, knock that Ralts off of the bench. Or you could just go super aggressive and try to knock out the Gardevoir EX. And then force Tord into another Rare Candy play. Rare Candies into the Gardevoir is able to use Shining Arcana to draw 2 cards, both of which are Kirlia. You can use one of the Kirlia to discard that energy card in your hand to draw 2 more cards. And let's see if you are able to get there. You can't use your own reversal energy to fulfill this Gardevoir's attack cost, so you might have to go for Zacian. And the Zacian was in your discard pile. You did research that away. Shining Arcana is... Was that Shining Arcana? No, that was Refinement. So he attached that energy for turn. 6, 7, 8, 10... He can only do a maximum of 220, which would leave this Gardevoir EX with 30 HP remaining, right? But I guess you could knock it out with a Moonglow reverse on the next turn? Oh no, I must have done the math wrong. 5, 6, 7, 210, 27. Oh yeah, I definitely did the math wrong. Holy crap. Yeah, 5 energy from the discard pile is going to be able to allow that Gardevoir to knock out the Gardevoir EX. So we do see the Ultra Ball here getting rid of another 2 Psychic Energy, is going to find another Gardevoir EX. Looks like we were checking to see how many rare candies we still have left in the deck. It looks like there is 1. I thought I saw a second one for a second, but on that second pass through, there's definitely not a second rare candy in there. And now Tord is going to have to find that rare candy this turn in order to have any sort of chance of winning the game. Or at least even to try to keep pace at all. And Tord says, you know what? I know I've lost this game, so let's just go to the next one. And I think that's the perfect position to be scooping for Tord. Definitely has 21 minutes left for the third game. Definitely plenty of time, even with the +3 turns, and even if it doesn't finish by +3 turns, it will be whoever is ahead on prizes. So I think Tord just tries to go first and gets that Mirage Step off turn 2 yet again. Going for the same play he did in game 1 will make it the most likely for him to win the match, but he could always just rare candy into Gardevoir EX turn 2 and go aggressive like his opponent did. And of course, both players pile stacking yet again while going into this next game. So let's see if I can skip ahead on this just a little bit. Alright, so it looks like a rare candy prize for Victor. And the reversal prize for Tord, as well as a boss's orders. But the boss, for both players being in those first 2 prize cards, will be easy for them to take. Looks like the first prize that Victor will take will be the boss. And the second prize Tord will take will be the boss. Or maybe it's both, first for both players. It depends on like the angle, like how they put that all out there. Have you guys noticed that I haven't knocked the one cord out of my mic recently, like I always do? Of course, as I say that, I knocked the headphones out of my mic, but out of the aux port on there. But the other one, I kind of like tied it to the mic so that it won't come out and I won't accidentally hit it with my legs when I reposition. So it looks like we are going to battle VIP Pass. We're going to find the Radiant Greninja as well as a Ralts here. We do have the Mirage Step Kirlia in hand, so we could go for that on the next turn. Would really like to see that. I think you can just leave your board exactly as is going into the next turn to go for that Mirage Step. Again, you will be potentially allowing Victor to take the prize lead, but again, you will have the draw, and that did allow Tord to win the game. He allowed Victor to take the first prize card by going for Mirage Step instead, but It ended up working out for him because he always had the maximum amount of draw, and he just waited until Victor had a dead hand and then played some boss's orders to be able to win the game. So we're going to attach. You could retreat into the other Ralts, but I think it's fine to just attach pass here. And yeah, I think this is definitely signifying that he has Mirage Step in hand. Obviously, I saw it. Victor doesn't know necessarily that it's in hand, but it is already in hand. So if Victor can play an Iono this turn, that would be really great for him to be able to pull that out of Tord's hand and make it so maybe Tord's start isn't quite as good. If Tord can find a new card that doesn't have any level balls, or a new hand that doesn't have any level balls, Ultra Balls, or the Mirage Step Kirlia in it, which it wouldn't because it would get Iono to the bottom of the deck, that would really help Victor out. So we are going to level ball ourselves to get that Ralts down onto the bench. Ultra Ball getting rid of our own Collapse Stadium, and a Gardevoir EX is not what you want to see this early in the game. You definitely want to be trying to rare candy into that turn too when you're going second in the matchup. And there is only 16 minutes left on the clock already. They had 21 minutes going into game 2, and after just Tord's first turn, they're pile stacking back and forth. It's wasted quite a bit of time here, so if you're Victor, you definitely feel like you need to be able to rare candy Gardevoir on this next turn. We find a Battle VIP pass. That is pretty big. That made it worth maybe discarding that Gardevoir EX. But again, you need to rare candy into Gardevoir EX on this next turn to be able to have any sort of prize lead. Or I suppose you could get Zacian onto the bench, attach return, and roar the sword. That doesn't really feel very good. And then I guess there's no way to get it into the active spot either. So yeah, just getting a Ralts and a Mew here, we will be able to retreat the Ralts into the Mew and use the ability. Or we can just not do that. Okay. We must have prized a Ralts is the only thing I can think of here why you would get that Mew instead of the Ralts. If you're not going to retreat into the Mew and use its ability. So Tord is going to use Radiant Greninja to discard a Psychic Energy and draw 2. I think that Psychic Energy must have been his top deck because I didn't see another one left in his hand after he attached that one to the active. But he does have Mirage Step in hand, and he could actually choose to... What is he doing here? Does he have the rare candy for the Gardevoir EX? Oh, he might have the rare candy for the Shining Arcana, and he's going to go for the exact same play yet again that he did first turn. Rare candy, Gardevoir, Shining Arcana, evolve into Mirage Step, and if Tord is smart, he's going to choose not to use the Shining Arcana here, because you could potentially draw into a Kirlia off of Shining Arcana. And yeah, he doesn't, so he definitely did that correctly here. So evolving that Ralts does protect it essentially from a Cresselia on the next turn. And it will make it so Victor has to target down one of the Refinement Kirlias that was just put onto the bench. So this is an absolutely huge turn for Tord. I almost said a huge Tord for turn. That would have been funny. Looks like here we are going to Ultra Ball away the Shining Arcana Gardevoir. Yeah, Victor's draws are really bad this game, it seems. Tord was just able to really style on him on this last turn, just like he did in game 1. And I think this is spelling death for Victor at this point. And he's going to Refinement away a Ralts. Concealed cards away a Psychic. Has a rare candy, and what else in hand? Looks like the Cresselia, and what is that last card? Reversal Energy. Yeah, this is game over for Victor, it seems. We're going to use the Reversal Energy just to retreat our Ralts to try to find another item card here, and we find just a Fog Crystal. Fog Crystal can find us now what? Just another Psychic Energy? Yeah, just another Psychic Energy. We're going to look away from the game because why would we want to watch that? We got to look at those great shingles there. The fake shingles that make it look like a traditional Japanese home. Zoom in on a face. Look at that face. So serious. This is why at regionals they have the face cams, so that you don't have to take away from the action so much. So we are going to Refinement away a Rare Candy, then Concealed Cards away a Psychic Energy, and we are going to be drawing quite a few cards this turn. Every card that is on Tord's bench allows him to draw 2 cards. He draws a free 10 cards without having to play a supporter. I'm telling you, man, Mirage Step is the way to go. So Refinement away a Battle VIP Pass. Obviously, you do not need that. Refinement now what? The Psychic Energy. Makes sense. And Level Ball here as well can find what? Just any Pokemon just to thin the deck. One more card before we use our Shining Arcana. Maximize the odds to hit Psychic Energy or just any other card that we might want out of it. Finds Reversal Energy, and I think Research as well was off of that. So we're going to see a retreat into the other Gardevoir, and maybe we will just see a Brainwave this turn. Would feel pretty okay. Looks like we will evolve into the Gardevoir EX, so we can load that thing up and take a big 150 damage knockout here. Gonna go ahead and get 6 damage counters on ourselves, accelerating those 3 energies. And yeah, you probably feel pretty fine just taking the knockout with your Gardevoir here. And now what does Victor even promote here? I guess he could do the Kirlia, hoping to evolve it into the Gardevoir EX to use its own ability to retreat, but Victor's hand still looks pretty darn bad. And yeah, he's really deciding whether or not he wants to promote this Ralts. Maybe he has a Rare Candy Gardevoir. Would be not too bad. But I think the safer play is to just promote the Kirlia in case you don't get the Rare Candy. Even if you do, you could still accelerate to the active to retreat it. Is there a ruling? Oh god. Not again. Alright. Pause game. Okay, looks like we're getting back to the game now. Tord accidentally dropped his prize card, so he could not get up from the table to pick it up. So the judges were trying to find a way to get it from under the table back into his hand. It was the boss's orders, of course, that he took off the prize cards as well, as I stated earlier, would probably be his first prize card for both players, actually. So Victor does promote the Ralts. He was questioning whether or not he wanted to go for that. And discards a Rare Candy. How are you going to evolve your active without the Rare Candy, my dude? We go for a second refinement with our freshly evolved Kirlia on the bench. And now we can Ultra Ball for what? Okay, Level Ball first. Maybe thin the deck of a Manaphy or something. Oh no, that's already in the discard pile. Is there even anything left that you can Level Ball for? Oh, it looks like there is one more Kirlia. So you could choose to evolve your active into the Kirlia, and then your bench into the... Your bench Kirlia on the left into the Gardevoir EX. I guess that's fine. Discarding the worker to draw 2 more cards. We do find an Iono. So we can use the Fog Crystal, thin the deck of a Psychic Energy to discard with the Ultra Ball to find the Gardevoir EX, to evolve the left Kirlia on the bench into that, and then Iono to try to limit your opponent's options, I guess. But again, he's got 4 Pokemon on his bench that can just draw 2 a turn. So I don't know if playing Iono is really going to do anything to Tord. Tord really loves his draw 2 Pokemon, as he did a tear on Internationals previously with the Zoroark GX decks. He made so many different versions. He had just Zoroark control, like Quad Zoroark. He had Gardevoir GX Zoroark, which I don't believe was a good deck. I think Tord just loves Gardevoir and discard draw 2 cards. And I think that Pokemon specifically printed this deck for Tord. I really do believe that they created this deck specifically for him. They knew that he loved Zoroark's trade ability, so they put it on a Kirlia. They knew he loved Gardevoir, that does more damage based on the amount of energies you have on it, so they just printed a couple more of those too. Looks like we are going to go for the Moonglow Reverse now. We will be able to knock out one of those Kirlias on the bench. And we will fully heal our board, except for that one Kirlia. It will still have 20 damage left on it. We are going to knock out the active instead of one of the bench Kirlias. I guess that's fine. Although the Kirlia is a little bit better than the Shining Arcana, in my opinion. And yeah, it looks like maybe the dice got hit on that one, but it's supposed to be at 2. It was at 4 when he retreated it using the ability of the Gardevoir EX. So he healed 2 damage counters off of that, so leaving it with 2 remaining makes a lot of sense here. And by makes a lot of sense, I mean is self-explanatory, I suppose. So we are going to use Refinement, discarding a Battle VIP Pass. Of course, you don't need that. You could discard yet another Battle VIP Pass right after that. Look at that. Tord also plays 4 Level Ball in the deck as well. A lot of the Gardevoir decks did cut down to 3, but I never liked that. I do really prefer the 4 Level Balls, because you can get the Ralts with them, you can get the Mew with them, you can get the Manaphy with them, and you can get the Kirlias with them. So a good portion of your deck is searchable by Level Ball, so I don't see any reason why you would want to play less than 4. Also, I like the way Tord has his discard pile spread out. I do that a lot of times with Lost Box, and sometimes with Gardevoir as well. But I kind of like, I'm a bit of a neat freak too, so like, I condense it, and then I'm like, wait, I wanted it spread out so I could see the cards. So then I put them back spread out, and then I'm not thinking about it, and I just scoop them back into one pile again. I go, oh darn. Same thing with the Lost Zone. Although the Lost Zone's easier because you need them spread out so you can have the accurate count at all times, because playing with dice just takes too much time. It's just so much easier to just count your cards. So Level Balls for the Mew, just to discard it with the Refinement. Thinning your deck of every unnecessary card possible. Tord is the master of sequencing, for sure. That is one of the skills you really need if you're playing Pokemon at a competitive level, is to be able to sequence correctly. Make sure that you know all your probabilities of drawing into cards, which cards you play in which order to maximize your odds of finding exactly what you need every single turn. How to remove cards from your deck and hand that will not do you much good in future turns or in the matchup entirely. Some of it's self-explanatory, like getting rid of those battle VIP passes, but some of them not so much, like getting your Mew out of the deck because you know you're never going to use the Mew, and just using that to discard for the refinement. So we're going to keep, they might as well just keep a bunch of dice in a pile, like already preset to 2 on the side, because we are just using a lot of Cresselia's back and forth. Cresselia, one of the best Pokemon in VGC as well, just became legal in their Regulation D, again, by being able to be imported from Pokemon Home from your older games. Cresselia is a really great support Pokemon, usually really great at healing your own Pokemon, or just helping you with setting up your defenses as well. So seeing Moonglow reverse an attack on the TCG card like this makes a lot of sense. Again, fits the lore of Cresselia itself. Also, fun fact for those who don't play the video games at all, Cresselia and Darkrai are arch nemeses. They each live on their own island. Cresselia is on Crescent Moon Island, I believe it's called. And Darkrai is on New Moon Island, I want to say. Or is it Full Moon Island? I don't remember. It's one of the two. Which are neighboring islands off the coast of Sinnoh. And yeah, Darkrai can instill nightmares on people, and the only thing that can stop Darkrai's nightmares is the Lunar Wing from a Cresselia. Which is odd, because Cresselia is Psychic type and Darkrai's Dark type, so you'd think that the Darkrai is super effective on the Cresselia, but whatever. Pokemon lore doesn't have to make sense. We are seeing the Iono. Tord is looking at his hand very carefully to make sure that he knows exactly what is going on the bottom of his deck. Gonna shuffle that up really good. Still has plenty of cards in deck, so might not be seeing those cards on this next turn, unless maybe he finds another level ball to shuffle, just to shuffle his deck. But again, the Iono not gonna affect Tord too much, just because he has 4 Pokemon in play that all have discard draw 2 effects. Now what does Victor do from here? He's got a Psychic Energy in hand. Not much else really going on. He could probably just Moonglow reverse again. He's also put that Zacian down on his bench so that he has an additional Psychic Pokemon to put energies to heal with the Moonglow reverse, but again, that is going to be an easy 2 prizes that Tord can just boss up and take at any point. Victor is behind right now in the prize trade. By 1 prize, so would really like to see literally anything come out of Victor to be able to win this game here. Unfortunately, I think his deck is just not built for the mirror like Tord's is. And yeah, I don't know that necessarily Victor is misplaying. I think he's doing everything he possibly can to win, but the power of that Mirage step is just too much for him. He just needed Tord to be able to start in Game 3 like he did in Game 2, where he only had 2 Ralts in play at any one time. Evolving one into a Gardevoir and then having it immediately get knocked out. Here is a Super Rod from Tord. He can put back in the Zacian if he chooses to. Yes, he is. So he is going to put a Kirlia and a Gardevoir back in the deck as well with that Zacian V. Tord must have 1 more Ralts left in his hand or deck to be able to put onto the bench this turn. Would make a lot of sense to just put the Kirlia and Gardevoir back into the deck if he has another Ralts. So we are going to use our concealed cards to draw 2, hopefully trying to... Oh yes, he has the Ralts in hand, I see. So we are going to discard the Professor's Research. Definitely don't need that at this point in the game. We're going to use our second refinement here. Discarding an Ultra Ball to draw 2. We found that Zacian. We are going to be able to use Shining Arcana now. Draw an extra card, a couple cards. Putting another Psychic Energy into play even from that. And we're going to boss up the Zacian that came down on this last turn. And we are going to blow it up here. Boss's orders. Brainwave for a whole bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 energies coming from the discard pile. Puts 100 damage on itself. Putting down a Ralts onto the bench so we can potentially rare candy into another Gardevoir, Shining Arcana, or evolve into another Refinement Kirlia on this next turn. And now what does Victor do? He is now 2 prize cards behind. In order to just even it up, he would have to boss up his opponent's Gardevoir EX, and that will leave all of the energies that are in play on this Gardevoir in the active spot. Yeah, and I don't know if there's anything that Victor can do at this point. He still wants to play it out to see if there's any odds that he can win the game, but they are in time. I think, I don't know if Tord was turn 0 or if Victor is, but either way, I don't think Victor is going to be able to take 4 prize cards in 2 turns, at the very least. If he knocks out the Gardevoir EX this turn, Tord just promotes the Gardevoir with the Shining Arcana yet again, and just hits for a big number again. And then can evolve into the Gardevoir EX again the following turn after that. So he's hitting what right now? 6. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 energies. Which is times 3 is 180 plus 60 is 240. Makes sense. So with an attached return is 270. With a Shining Arcana for 1 energy is 300. You'd still be 10 damage short of being able to knock out your opponent's Gardevoir EX and just taking the game clean. Tord does not play Echoing Horn, so he will not be able to bring back the Zacian V and then boss it back up and knock it out. So, yeah, I think Victor, maybe he does want to go for a knockout on the Gardevoir EX on the bench, but how would he do that? He would have to Reversal Energy his Gardevoir, his 1 prize Gardevoir, and then put a whole bunch of energies on it on the bench. But I think he already got rid of 1 Reversal Energy earlier in the game. Or that might have been a previous game. I could be getting them confused for sure. These are very long matches. And it looks like we are going to go for a Moonglow Reverse this turn. We could knock out the active with Moonglow Reverse, but I think at this point, since you are... Oh, they changed Victor Manuel Garcia Montez to Mexico. He was in as Singapore earlier. I just noticed they changed it. But yeah, I don't know what you do as Victor. You just like try to... Yeah, I mean, Tord, no matter what, at the end of turn 3 will be ahead on prizes if Tord does not just win the game outright. So, it, in my opinion, is over. And if I were Victor, I would just... I honestly, you know, you could play it out for the camera, but I would just... I myself would just concede, shake his hand, and just go on with my life. I wouldn't want to, like, let the game peter out like this. We even see an Iono. Oh, no, we're using the Kirlia's Refinement to discard the Iono. So we're not playing it. We're just using Refinement. I'm glad Tord did point to the Kirlia to show that he's doing that, because that is something that a lot of people would do with N all the time, like Daniel Altavilla would do things like the NB, he called it, or the N bait, which is where you would put the N down, like say the N would be your second supporter for the turn, you put it down to say you're playing it, and then your opponent shuffles their hand into your deck and go, oh wait, this would be my second supporter, I can't play that. Judge, my opponent shuffled their hand into their deck, I win. So we are going to go for a Moonglow reverse turn here for Tord. And we'll just be one prize card more away from being able to win the... Oh! No, it looks like we're setting up so that if our Gardevoir EX maybe goes down, we still have a way to win on the next turn. Or we could still be going for the Moonglow reverse on a Ralts. And if the Gardevoir comes up, the Brainwave Gardevoir comes up and tries to take the knockout. Yeah, this is an odd choice of placement for the energy there. To go all in on this Cresselia to be able to maybe Lunar Blast. But I guess that opens it up to the fact that you could, even if your Gardevoir EX goes down, you could just win off of a boss's orders now. Going for the second attack on the Cresselia for 110. Now, will Tord have a boss's orders is another question. I see a research in hand. And I think he still has enough psychic energy in the discard pile to potentially be able to do another Moonglow reverse on the other Ralts. Even if it evolves into a Kirlia, but if it evolves into another Gardevoir, that will be a little bit rough. Finds 2 energy off of Shining Arcana. I think you can just safely put that both onto your benched Gardevoir. Again, not sure which turn number we're on currently. But Tord is only 1 prize card away from winning. If Victor is turn 2, he definitely does not have a way to win. And Tord potentially could. And it is whoever is ahead on prize cards at the end of turn 3 does win in Top Cut. Because there cannot be a tie. And you see Victor smiling. I think he knows he's lost. Tord has absolutely no expression on his face whatsoever. I think he's just going in for big attack with his active for some reason. Just style pointsing, I guess. Would make a lot of sense. Attach for turn. Oh, he's going to boss up the Gardevoir EX to even up the prizes. And then just goes for the fist bump. That's all he was able to do. Yeah. Yeah, so Victor was able to take as many prize cards as possible. But I guess Tord was turn 3. That would make it so Tord is able to win the game. That's all that Victor could do in order to even attempt to close it out. And Tord was just 1 prize card ahead and was able to take it to go on to top 4 of the Pokemon Trading Card Game World Championships. And normally what they do is they do one side of the bracket. And then they do the other side of the bracket. So you don't feature 2 people, the same person 2 rounds in a row. So top 4 is usually the opposite side of the bracket. So it should actually be Azul versus Vance, which is a Mew Mirror. But instead they show Tord for the next round again. So if Tord wins the next round, you see him in top 8, top 4, and the finals if he ends up winning in top 4. Because they show Tord in the next round, and I hate that. Do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and complain about Pokemon like I do in the comments down below. Whatever. We'll see you guys next time. It's 2:30 a.m. and I still have 2 more matches to record.